The powder coater just called. We can pick up our parts. Interior is coming together. Dashboard is coming together. Alright, so Rocky's getting ready to cut some tubing here. We're going to add a cross member here just to stiffen up the rear portion of the frame, and then also mount my limit strap that is now mounted on the skid plate on that cross member. That should give some extra stiffness to the chassis and overall better suspension. Today is day 5. We're about to paint the frame and the axles. Everything is sandpapered and D8, so we really went the extra mile here and made it really clean, really nice. D8 the entire frame, sandpapered the entire frame and the axles and radiator support and whatnot. The only thing we didn't pull is engine and transmission, but as you can see, I wrapped it up all good. I'm gonna finish the transfer case here in a second. We're about ready for action here. Frame, axles, high-C arms, pinion guard. Yeah, everything's getting painted now. Black, hot rod black for the frame, axles, and a few small parts, and then flat black later on for interior and a couple of exterior parts.
Yeah. Round 2.
Oh, I got a feeling I know what's in here.
Another day here at Green Country Off-Road. Look what just arrived. Casey Highlight sent me some goodies for SEMA. Yeah, it's a big 50-inch light bar that goes right on front of the windshield of the Jeepster now for SEMA. And then one of their chase lights. This is really freaking cool. This thing goes on the back of the cage, has turn signals included in it, a couple of other things. Looks really cool. Can't wait to get it installed. Probably gonna order me some AJK clamps here in a little bit to mount the rear one, and the front one we're gonna build a mount for the windshield. So instead of mounting it on the cage like my previous light bar was, we're gonna mount this one on above the windshield, or right on the line of the windshield, with some armor plates on the side, so that gives the windshield a little bit extra protection. The powder coater just called. We can pick up our parts. So cage, rock sliders, center console, and a couple of other small pieces are ready to be picked up. So I hooked on the trailer, and now we're headed to Broken Arrow here in Oklahoma to Precision Finishes. I think that's the correct name. If not, I'll correct myself once we get there. They did a killer job, super quick turnaround, and yeah, I can't wait to see the parts finally. Previously it was all just paint, and the paint was flaking off after a while, and the primer was coming through, and it just didn't look pretty anymore. Not good enough for SEMA, at least. Again, I didn't really care about all the scratches that the Jeepster had that came from wheeling. It was more about faded paint and the stickers that were all you know, over the side of the Jeep, they just left, you know, their mark in the paint once I pulled them off. So that combined with, you know, just a flaky cage where paint was coming off everywhere, yeah, I just figured we're gonna do a whole overhaul, and yeah, powder coating is a part of it, and now we're picking up the parts. I'm pumped. Let's see how everything turned out. I'll be back in a second. Here we are now at Precision Finishing. Look at that powder coated cage. Super cool. I already checked out some of the other parts, looks amazing. Alright, we're finally getting rid of one tiny little detail that has bothered me about this Jeep more than anything. And that is this tiny little corner here. This, if you get in and you don't know it, it'll get you. It'll get you really, really good. So you can feel it all day long. So those are the little changes that we're kind of doing to it. You know, like the stuff that I figured out over the years.
I think it's going to be even better this time, Marvin.
I know it will be. The first layer of red paint is being put on the Jeepster. We primed it, bed linered it, did all the things, and now we're kind of getting into the final stage of painting and prepping and all that. So next thing we'll do, put some red paint on this thing.
Right?
Yeah. Woo. Let there be red. We finally got it. Yeah, top is painted, bed linered, interior is painted. So yeah, it took us all night to get the flattening additive correct. So it was either, we were here until like 4:30 in the morning trying to get the clear coat, the flat clear coat on point. It was either too shiny or it turned into white. So yeah, it was quite a battle, but we finally got it right. And yeah, now let's get the top back on the body and move on. All right, Sketchy McJeepFaces on the lift. Tied it up to some straps. Here, let's see this redneckery. We're ready to marry them again. Put the body on the frame. So we're DAing and seam sealing and fillering the last couple of pieces of armor, and then I hope we can start painting all that stuff tonight. If I see one more piece of sandpaper, I'm gonna, like, you know, just kill myself. My thumbs are basically dissolved in sandpaper. The DA is like crying for mercy all day long. So much work, so much work. All right, guys, 4 a.m. in the morning. We're still, finally, we're spraying body armor, tailgate, hood, grill, and every other little piece that needs to be red. So, yeah, 4 a.m. in the morning, I'm beat. absolutely tired, but I'm glad we finally get it done. So.
If I find my way home, yeah. Wouldn't it be crazy? But you still amaze me.
We pulled an all-nighter last night. I got back to the hotel at 6 a.m., 6:30, something like that, and Rocky, our shop trooper here, actually stayed and finished painting. So unfortunately I couldn't catch him painting red and clear on all of these parts. I basically left when he started primering, and super pumped. So we finally got everything painted red. All little imperfections are worked out. It turned out amazing. The red for some reason even pops even more than it used to. Super happy the way it turned out. Now we have a few parts left that we want to redo. Here are a few black parts that just didn't turn out as great as we want them to. And that's pretty much it. Then I think we need to paint like 2 or 3 things gold, and then we're done with painting already. So we're already done prepping everything, so this should be a quick one. And like at the same time I'll be starting to put the Jeepster back together. Yeah, so let me get back to it. Just wanted to give you guys a quick update. We are red again. We're currently fabbing up a windshield mount for the KC Highlights C-Series 50-inch light bar. If you look over here, Rocky's currently welding those tabs together, and compared to my last light bar setup that was mounted on the cage, this time we're going to mount it right on the top line of the windshield, so the cage is nice and clear, and I have a little bit lower profile when I drive underneath trees, etc. I've been hitting that light bar quite a bit, so it'll give it a little bit of a lower profile, and also armor the side of the windshield in case I lay it against a tree or a rock. That gives me some extra protection. It's actually pretty. What gauge is that steel, Rocky?
It's 3/16.
3/16 steel plate that we're making. That
armor is 3/16.
Yeah, the entire armor of the Jeepster is 3/16, so big and beefy. We already got this fabbed up. Rocky knocked it out of the park with this cool mount here, wrapping around the windshield frame. Pretty awesome. And then we're gonna get, let me get one of them brackets, Rocky. Where are they? Well, we got them, the little thingies. Probably this way around. Gonna go right here. Chad came over today and we wired up some of the engine harness again. Nick was over here, the old fabricator from GCO. He came over and started on the skid plate for the Jeepster underneath the oil pan of the engine. So that's his project for the next few days while I'm bolting everything back together and trying to mount as much stuff back on the Jeepster as I can. So yeah, long nights here at GCO every day. Every day we're hustling, right, Rocky?
That's right.
Yep.
Doing all we can do.
Jeepster's coming together, fenders are mounted, skid plate is under it, gas tank is in, gas filler is in. Nick is actually welding up the skid plate, or working on the skid plate, not entirely welding it up yet. And Rocky is prepping the cage to paint the little side panels, the dimple dye panels, gold again, after the cage was powder coated. So yeah, just another late night shift here at GCO. Assembly day here at GCO. Jeepster's coming together, slowly but surely. Grill is back on. Interior is coming together. Dashboard is coming together. Tailgate, taillights, looking pretty good. We got one more day, day and a half to finish this thing. Rocky over here is working on the mounts for this KC Highlight chase bar. We're just using this piece of tubing to get it all squared away and then adapt it onto the cage. Alright guys, one of the most critical situations is about to happen. That is putting that cage back onto the tub. It is no fun, it is super tight, and the first time we did this 3 years ago, we banged the dashboard, so let's see how we can get it in without messing anything up this time. It is super tight. So we got some styrofoam thingies around the forklift so it doesn't scratch it. So let's see how we can make this happen now. Alright, the last few little bolts are being turned. Hood.
Yeah, it's gotta go.
Hood is last, so that's what we're doing right now. Then just put a driver's seat in it and we're pretty much ready to rock. Jeepster McJeepFace 2.0. Pretty much. "20 hard working days later, Jeepster McJeepFace is done. We're ready to load up and headed towards Arizona for Trail to SEMA. Here he is, or she, or whatever. Those were 20 hard days, 20 long days. The whole GCO crew was hands-on all day, every night. Huge thank you to David and Rocky. Right there. Yeah, David and Rocky busted their butts all weekend. Rocky has been busting his butt for 2.5 weeks straight. I don't know how many nights of sleep he didn't get. So here we are now. Fresh paint, fresh powder, a few fresh parts. Frame off restoration. We took it completely apart, painted and powder coated literally every single piece. Super excited. Look how fresh it looks. I mean, no more scratches, no more flaking off paint. Nice and clean. Now we got two of the coolest GCO builds right next to each other. Orange Hammer and the Jeepster. How cool is that? That was built right before the Jeepster. When this thing was done, the Jeepster was pulled in. First of all, the Jeep got a complete overhaul, frame off restoration basically. We took it completely apart, sanded everything, sandblasted a couple parts, and then it got all new paint, and the cage, the rock sliders, the center console, and a couple of small parts got powder coated, flat black powder coated. Everything else got painted or powder coated and painted. So yeah, it took us exactly 20 days. The guys from Green Country Off-Road knocked it out of the park. I came down there for 20 days, helped Rocky and Chad and Nick, yeah, with all the work. I mean, it's a boatload of work to do this all, you know, in that shorter time frame if you want to do it right. Look at this badassness. Brand new custom made spiderweb shade with Jeepster, McJeepFace and flex rocks and rollovers. Custom print made by APOC Design. This guy absolutely nailed it. We got sway lock system from Off-Road Only right here. Fox bump stops and Fox 14-inch coilovers. 14 bolt in the back, shaved, 40 spline ARB locker with 300 M40 spline RCVs. Got these sweet new GCO caps on them. Obviously BFG crawlers, 42 red label. Then busted knuckle off-road Jake Berkey provided some super sick all aluminum link bars, 2.5 inch diameter. Look at that beast. 2.5 inch diameter link bars in the back and 2.25 in the front. Thank you, Jake, for your awesome customer service. You absolutely rock. Made this happen last minute. Sway lock system in the front, Casey highlights headlights, my Warren winch and my new Factor 55 Ultra hook that I still need to swap around. It goes the other way. I got my PSC Hydro Assist, a Dana 60 high pinion front, also with RCV 35 spline, 300M axle shafts. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and let me know what's your favorite new feature on Jeepster McJeepFace. Thank you guys for watching. I see you later.